Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my beloved sisters. Hope all of you are doing well. Inshallah, today we're taking the second special makhraj in the major makhraj, the tongue. Today we're taking the second one, and as I told you, we are moving from back. We started last time with the deepest part of the tongue. This is the first special makhraj in the tongue, and today we are taking the middle part of the tongue, and this is the second special place in the tongue. From there, from the middle part of the tongue, we produce the three letters Jim, Sheen, and Ya. They are produced by the meeting between the middle part of the tongue, touching the hard palate opposite to it, inshallah. So this is very easy, but we need here to differentiate between those three letters. Actually, the difference between them is in their qualities, and for sure in the way we produce each letter. First, let's talk about the letter Jim. The letter Jim. This letter is the strongest of the other two letters. We see the Sheen, the Ya, the Jim is the strongest one. It is not accompanied by air. We're not producing air, so no whispering, and at the same time it is strong. There is a strength, what we call the shiddah. So it is the strongest letter of those letters. So we have to show this. You see, strong. But when you say ash, it begins to be weaker now, because there is something which we miss in the sheen, which we call the shidda here. Here the sheen is not strong, it is running. Ash. So this is one of the qualities which makes it weaker than the jim. And then the ya. The ya is also weak. It runs. We are not making it strong like the jim, but there is no air produced with the ya. So we can say that the jim is the strongest of those three letters. The first thing we need to learn about the jim is from where exactly we produce the jim. Here we need to know where you put the middle part of the tongue exactly in order to produce the jim, and this is very important because many have mixing about this letter jim. First, the first organ, which is the tongue. We are not using the tip of the tongue, because if you use the tip of the tongue, the jim will be produced like sheen. It's going to be like that. It will be produced like sheen, and this is not correct. And for sure, we are not using the deepest part of the tongue, because if you did that, it will become like gim. So it's not correct. So it is not jim, it is not gim, it is in between this. It is in the middle, from the middle of the tongue. So don't use the tip, don't use the deepest part of the tongue to produce the jim, but you have to use the middle part of the tongue. So where to put my middle part of the tongue? What is the other organ I should meet? This is what we are talking about now. Now, if you use the tongue to move in after the upper teeth, you will see that there is a place which is a little bit rough after the upper or the upper teeth directly. If you put your tongue there, there is a rough place. Yeah. And then starting when you go back, it starts to be smooth. Yeah. So we can say that the meeting part between the rough area and the smooth area, this is the place where you should put your tongue to produce the letter jim. So the organ we're using is the middle part of the tongue. It meets the separation point between the rough area and the smooth area at the top of the mouth. There is the place you should put the middle part of your tongue. And that's why we see some students have mistakes with the jim. They put maybe they use the middle part of the tongue, but they don't put it in this place. They put it in the gum of the upper teeth, and this is the place of the dal. So they say they start with dal, da, like this. This is not correct. But you should put the middle part of the tongue in this place I told you. You can say like the separation point between the rough area and the smooth area in the upper part of the mouth, directly after the teeth. or the upper teeth. This is the place exactly we should put. How about the sheen, the ya? In the sheen, we are not using all the tongue to touch the upper part of the mouth, but we can say that the tongue is folded and we are just using the not the middle part. If you try to say ash, ash, you see like your tongue became like subhanallah, like a sandwich. Like there is something in the middle which is not touching the upper part of the mouth, but you are just touching with the sides of the tongue. Ash, ash, like this. The same with the ya, but it is more close to the sides. Ay, ay, ay. You see? So in case of the sheen and the ya, we are not using all the tongue to put or to meet the upper part of the mouth. And this is the main difference between the jim and the sheen and ya. Let me tell you what are the mistakes we expect from the students when they produce those letters jim, sheen, and ya. Okay. First, let's start with the jim. For sure, as I told you, the main mistake we have is that the students are not putting their tongue, the middle part of their tongue, in the right place. They put it in the gum of the upper teeth, so we produce dal, or maybe they put it, they use the tip of the tongue, not the middle part of the tongue, so they produce like mixed with the sheen, sometimes like this, or they are using the back part of the tongue, which is not correct. So we are using the middle part of the tongue to produce the jim, and the point we are meeting, as I told you, explained to you. The next thing we may find with the jim, the students may do, is that they are not adding the qalqala, and the qalqala is of the characteristics or the qualities of the jim. Example, إخراج. They say like البروج. This is not correct. Where's the qalqala? You have to show البروج, like that. You have also to care about if you have two jim, double jim, to show both. For example, حاججتم, as I told you, the jim is a strong letter. So you have to make it strong and clear. حاججتم. Okay. Also, it is a light letter, so we should not say al-fujjar, for example. It should be al-fujjar, dar. You see, I'm not saying der, I'm not saying ger, I'm saying j, j, j. So the middle part is meeting this point I told you, which is the separation between the rough place and the smooth place in the upper part of the mouth. This is related to the jim. How about the sheen? Yeah. The sheen also many students do like heavy. For example, they say شققنا, while it should be شققنا, a light letter. Also, if it is followed by jim, you have to differentiate between them because they are very close, as you see. شجر بينهم شجر شجر. So you should separate and show the difference between them. And also the sheen is, as I told you, the letter which is running in the mouth and filling the mouth. Like that. You have to show this, and while you do this, you should not mix the sound with the sin, because some students say s and like that. Why? They are putting their tip of the tongue with the lower teeth, and this is producing the sin. Yeah. So now what you want to do is to use your middle part of the tongue only, not to use the tip of the tongue, because this will form the sin in addition to sheen. Yeah, that's all about the sheen. How about the ya? The ya, if it comes like mad, we have to show, for sure, this is not the articulation point we're talking about, because the mad is coming from the area between the throat and the mouth. But in case it is preceded by mad with the ya, so you have to show both. في يوسف الذي يوسوس الذي you. So we have to separate between them, not to merge them together. And the other thing is, if it is doubled or if there is two ya, you have to show both. For example, inna waliya, waliya. Yeah, it is repeated here, so you have to show every ya. If you want to stop on it and it is doubled, so you apply the number as we took before. من الحي من طرف خفي. So you press more on the ya in case of stopping on a doubled ya. Also have to care about that the ya is not of the heavy letters. So sheen, jim, and ya all are light letters. We don't say يضربون. We say يضربون. Yeah. We don't say شياطينهم. No, we say شياطينهم. So those are the common mistakes we have for those letters. Inshallah, we will practice together on the WhatsApp group more about those letters. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.